you ready to do this now?
Do I have to?
Do you want to do the podcast?
If I have to, I have to. I mean, it is the season finale, and if we're going to do it, then I have to do it, right? I'm Adam.
And I'm Joe.
Together we're the Maladjusted Misfits.
And this is the one where we talk about friends.
I did not enjoy that.
Just joking.
All right. Welcome, Misfits, and hello to any new Friends fans that stumbled across our podcast.
Every week, we rewatch the next episode in sequential order.
Next week, this season 2 bonus episode.
That's right.
A whole wrap-up of the whole season. You excited?
I am very excited. I can't believe we got through. We're almost at 50 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
50.
Wow.
That's a big number.
That is.
Yeah.
Like, that's almost my age.
That is past your age. And then we'll do our wrap-up, and then following week, we're going to do Romy and Michelle's high school reunion. And then we'll be tackling season 3.
Season 3.
Yeah. I think season 3 and 4 get really fun.
Yeah.
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 I mean, not that 1 and 2 aren't fun. We're still, like, figuring people out.
Right. They haven't gotten to a lot of the repeat things that they do.
Yeah.
Joey hasn't even said how you doing yet, has he?
No.
I mean, come on.
So what are we doing this week?
All right, the season 2 finale, the one with Barry and Mindy's wedding.
Dun, dun, dun. What's our IMDb plot?
Rachel reluctantly agrees to be maid of honor at her ex-fiancé Barry's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Monica ponders her future with Richard.
Aww.
And Joey has to practice kissing guys to get a role in a Warren Beatty's new movie. But Ross and Chandler are unwilling to help him.
Bastards. The episode director, I cannot believe it, but the director is Michael freaking Lembeck.
Oh, that seems hard to believe.
I know, right? He has almost as many acting credits as he does directing credits.
Jeepers.
He has 60 acting credits, and he has 69 directing credits.
Ooh,
So
69, dude.
69. Then they got me thinking
Okay.
about directors
Yeah.
who had more acting credits, or more directing credits than acting.
Now, is this TV or is this movies too?
Both. He has both.
Right.
Yeah. So I
But
started...
again,
True. Yeah.
David Fincher will direct a movie once every 2-3 years. He's doing, what is it, the 25 episodes a season of Friends?
Right. So I looked it up, and Woody Allen has directed 57 things.
Yes.
He's acted in 50.
Ooh.
Clint Eastwood has 73 acting credits, but
Yeah.
only directed 46.
Right.
So it's just interesting. I just
Right.
thought that was interesting.
You're comparing and contrasting.
Yeah. Our episode writer, the teleplay by Brown Mandel, which we had last week.
Okay.
So he wrote an episode of a TV show called Men Behaving Badly, starring Rob Schneider. And
Okay.
that is all I will say.
Okay.
I don't know anything more. And then the story by credit is by Ira Ungerleider.
Right.
So wrote some episodes of a TV show called Angie Tribeca, starring your favorite, the ever cute Rashida Jones.
Yeah, I've seen some of the Angie Tribecas.
Have you?
Yeah.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's pretty funny. They're very goofy.
Are they?
They're very goofy, yeah.
So as a quick recap, a story credit is given to the original writer that refers to the basic narrative idea, theme, or outline that indicates character development and action.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't usually include written action or dialogue. So the teleplay by is the credit refers to the actual writing of the dialogue, stage directions, camera setups that appear in the finished script.
Right.
The story by is really the big chunk of things, and then the dialogue is the...
It's like, what if Richard and Monica like do a lot of different things?
So, what was our original air date?
Our original air date was May 16th, 1996. So I have mentioned most of the movies that were out that I care to. And the number one song thing was just never working for me.
No.
They stayed number one for so long. Why?
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But yeah,
Okay.
that's why I kind of veered away from that. And,
Okay.
I mean, there's a million other songs, people. Come on. So on that day, Sammy Sosa became the first Chicago Cub to hit 2 home runs in 1 inning. That's probably interesting to somebody, right?
Probably, yeah.
That's what happened on that day.
Well, that's cool. All right, are you ready for some trivia?
I am ready.
All right. So the reason this is, remember I told you that this gets a lot of guff.
Right. Yeah, you did say that this episode is...
And so everybody asks,
Right.
why the fuck are Monica and Richard at Barry and Mindy's wedding?
Oh, that's why it gets guff.
Why are they there?
Okay.
And then the other thing is, why is Rachel in the wedding?
Yeah, I'm more, why would she go?
Right. But why are Richard and Monica there?
Right.
So the reason that Monica and Richard attend Barry and Mindy's wedding, despite not being friends with them, can be explained by Richard's longtime connection to their Long Island community as a prominent eye doctor. Rachel knew Richard from her childhood, and at one point Rachel says, I need to be in a room with these people again, suggesting that many of the wedding guests at Barry and Mindy's wedding would have been at her wedding as well.
Okay.
If that were in the case, then Richard would have been invited since he is part of that circle of friends that included the Greens and the Gellers.
Right.
It's entirely possible he was a good friend to Barry and or Mindy's parents as well. And if so, he would have been invited and taken Monica as his +1.
Right.
So, there.
Take
Case
that.
closed.
I never even thought about it. So
I know, but lots of people are so upset about it. Okay, so Nancy Casaro, you remember her? She played Chandler's coworker, Shelley.
Yeah.
The one who thinks he's gay. And the one where Nana dies twice. She also appears in this episode. She's uncredited, but she's a bridesmaid sitting at the table.
Oh, okay.
And Rachel passes her as she makes her way up to the microphone. So she's wearing one of those ungodly, awful pink bubblegum dresses.
Yes. And we'll get to those.
Yeah, you'll see her cute little face when she walks by her. So.
Okay.
And then Jackie Bright and Fritzy Burr played the characters of Mr. and Mrs. Weinberg, respectively, in this episode. However, both were credited in previous episodes for distinct characters. Jackie Bright played the janitor and the one with the birth. You forgot your legs.
Yeah, you forgot your legs.
And Fritzy Burr impersonated Mrs. Tedlock.
Right.
In the one with the stoned guy, and the woman in the one where Ross finds out.
Right.
The lead singer in the band in Barry and Mindy's wedding also performs in Chandler and Monica's wedding.
Oh, it's the same guy.
Yeah, same guy.
Wow.
And the last trivia is, at the end of this episode, Chandler's anticipation while waiting for his mystery woman is the same anticipation while waiting to break up with Janice in the one with the East German laundry
They
detergent.
should have had 12 cups of
I
cappuccino
know. That
there,
would have
too.
been hilarious. Therefore, foreshadowing that the mystery woman is indeed Janice.
Spoiler alert!
I know, sorry.
Oh my gosh.
30-year-old spoilers. I think it's funny when you're looking at trivia, it
Yeah.
will separate the ones that are spoilers.
Yeah.
It will say spoilers.
Hey, you can't give this away.
All right, so what are your episode reactions to this one?
All right, well, okay, first, we have Monica and Richard.
Yeah.
Having such strong feelings for each other, but them wanting different things. It's so sad.
Yeah.
And then Phoebe gets a couple good lines, but is regulated to the background, which I feel is odd for a season finale episode.
Yeah.
And Joey wanting to kiss a dude. I think LeBlanc gets a lot of good traction out of this, even if the others come off a little phobic-y.
Yeah.
And
he seems totally like, I'll
Right.
kiss a dude, whatever.
Right. Ross is a solid, nice guy in this episode. And Rachel has downs and downs along the way, but she ends up with a win.
Yeah.
And I got to give her some credit, even if the plot's a little goofy. I mean, it's good. I think it's not season ender good.
Yeah.
It just seems out of place.
Yeah.
But
a lot of people said that too when I was reading the reviews. Like, it's not a season ending good.
Yeah.
And the only like cliffhanger, which isn't really a cliffhanger,
Is the Janice.
Yeah, Chandler and Janice. Yeah.
So again, it's kind. I mean, I enjoyed everything, but it just doesn't seem like a strong finish to season 2.
Yeah. It's a bittersweet episode. I like the Monica and Richard, but I know that Richard is not the one for her, so it has to end, but it's still a little sad.
Yeah.
I like the Joey kissing. I don't like that the guys are so uber homophobic.
No.
I like the storyline of Rachel being Mindy's maid of honor as wackadoo.
Right.
It's funny, and I think she handled it really well. There is no way in hell I would have worn that dress. No way.
No.
Or gone to that wedding.
No.
And Janice is back, baby. She is back.
Janice. I love Janice.
All right, let's do our favorites. What favorite lines? There were so many funny ones in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get to them, I'll point them out.
Right.
But I say this one a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When Chandler goes, how do you not fall down more?
Yes.
To Joey.
You do like that one. I went with a weird side character. I went with Mr. Weinberg.
Yeah.
I tell you a lot of things.
When you told me you didn't see that.
Yeah, I tell you a lot of things. I say that to you and to the girl kid quite a lot.
That was too funny. My favorite moment is when Chandler decides that he's going to meet his mystery computer woman and
Right.
Phoebe's ordering him around.
Yeah.
Put your shoes on. No, take a shower. No, answer her. No, make some coffee because it's too much. I love that.
She's so frazzled. I'm going to go with the Rachel moment.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad for Rachel in this episode.
Yeah.
Again, this episode's kind of weird in that regard. But I like that she gets the zing in on Barry, at the microphone. And because Barry's being such a douche.
Yeah.
He's like going off his way to be a douchebag.
Right,
I don't know.
right.
On your wedding, that seems like a weird move.
Right.
But
It's your fucking bride invited her, so why
But
are you being that way?
But I like that she gets a couple good zings in at him and leaves it there, moves on.
Favorite outfit, I'm going to go with Monica's dress for Mindy's wedding. It's very pretty. I definitely think I had something like that at some point in
Right.
my life. I definitely would wear it. I'm picking that.
Okay. Well, I'm picking the fucking bridesmaid dress, right? I mean, why did all bridesmaids' dresses used to be a dare? All of them. Before like 2010, all of the bridesmaids' dresses look like those old school Barbie cakes where the dress was the frosting.
Yeah.
But why? Is it a prank that I don't understand? It's ironic win all day long, baby. I mean, jeez Louise.
So what did I do for my bridesmaids when I got married? What did I say?
What did you say?
I said, you can pick any dress you want.
That's right.
I don't care what you wear as long as you're there.
Right.
And two of them coordinated, and one of them picked a color that coordinated with the other two.
Right.
I said, as long
And they were all cute.
they were all cute and they were comfortable, and I was like, you guys pick it because I don't want you coming back on me 20 years later going, look what you fucking made me wear. We're all
And of
cute,
course, I was
and
wearing
they
a
were
tuxedo with no
comfortable,
tie and two different color Chuck Taylors on.
That's
so
right.
that's the kind of wedding we had.
Themes we explored this episode.
Yes.
This is like the first online dating. Theme 1, online dating.
Yeah.
Chandler did the first foray into online dating.
Yeah, and it worked out surprisingly well. I mean, this was pre-photos,
Yeah.
pre-voice. You couldn't do anything.
Nope.
It was just texting. Is
Yep.
basically what it was.
Basically, yeah.
Theme 2, stepping up and kissing your friend. Come on, make out with your bros.
Theme 3, breaking up when you don't want the same things.
Aww.
I think it's important before you get married.
Yeah. And it's good that they had that conversation.
That's true. That's true.
Theme 4, obligations. How much is too much?
Oh. All right, we're going to take a break before we break down the episode. So, how's your date with your cyber chick going? Ooh, hey, what's all that?
Oh, it's a website. They are pages on the internet web. This one is for the Guggenheim Museum. See, she likes art and I like funny words.
What does she mean by HH?
It means we're holding hands.
Are you the cutest?
I'm afraid I might just be.
You know what I think is so great? That you are totally into this person, and yet, for all you know, she could be like 90 years old, or have two heads. Or it could be a guy.
Okay, it's not a guy, all right? I know her.
It could be like a big, giant, hairy, messy, stinky, slimy... It's Joey trying to get his kiss.
It's the 90s. Let's roll the dice. All right.
We're back.
You ready for the breakdown?
I'm ready.
All right. Cold open on Central Perk. All 6 friends are there. Joey enters as the show begins, Rachel's waitressing, and asks him immediately how the audition went. Joey responds with an incredible before stating that he met the director this time, and you'll never believe who it was. Here's a hint. Warren Beatty.
Well, that's the kind of hint the girl kid gives.
Yeah. She does exactly that. That's funny. And then he explains there might be a problem because he had to kiss a guy. And Chandler guesses because he was just so darn cute. Joey says no, it was part of the audition. He's up for the part of a guy that the main guy kisses. And Ross suggests he's an actor. You suck it up and you do it. And then he realizes what he just said and adds, or you just do it. But Joey explains that he's a professional, and he did it.
There's a cut line on the DVD because he says, besides, my first girlfriend was Lisa D. Batista, so I'm no stranger to the mustache.
Oh, nice. But Monica asks what the problem is. The problem is that Warren Beatty came up after the scene and told Joey, good actor, bad kisser.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's move on. Joey takes exception to this. Him, a bad kisser, it's like Mother Teresa not being a good mother. Okay. Phoebe, in another one of her blatant ruses, says, who cares what that guy thinks? What does Warren Beatty know about kissing? And everybody looks at her because Warren Beatty, at the time, was a known womanizer.
Yes, sir.
So some of the women Beatty has romantically been linked to are Diane Keaton, Cher, Barbara Allen, Natalie Wood, Daryl Hannah, Julie Christie, Charlotte Lewis, Goldie Hawn, Joan Collins, Madonna, Carly Simon, and he finally married Annette Bening. Carly Simon admitted that the song You're So Vain was partly about Warren Beatty.
Wow.
Q, I'll be there for you.
All right, we're still at Central Perk, all 6 friends. We're still talking about Joe's audition. Joey Tribbiani's, not mine, just to be clear. I didn't audition.
You'd have got it.
Aw, thanks.
You like kissing guys.
Shan asks what his agent said, and Joey says, yep, the kiss. That's definitely a problem. Mr. Beatty wants to see it again on Monday. He laments about what he might be doing wrong. And he asks one of the girls to come over and kiss him. And both Rachel and Monica say, yeah, right, forget it.
Joe, would you help Joey out?
Sure. If I wasn't with you, if I didn't have a boyfriend, I'd kiss him.
Okay.
So Joey whines that he needs help. Phoebe steps up. Okay. She's kissed him before. She'd do it. He says, see this? This is a friend.
Let's go.
I like that. Phoebe takes her gum out, and then they go at it. And she says, good. Very good. Firm, but tender. I would recommend him to a friend. He says, then I don't know what the problem is. So Mon offers that maybe he's not used to kissing men.
Right.
That maybe he tenses up, and that is what he needs to work on.
Mm-hmm.
He's now standing between Chandler and Ross.
Mm-hmm.
He gives Ross a little shoulder shrug, and Ross says, over my dead body. So he turns to Chandler, and he says, I'll be using his dead body as a shield.
I think it's weird that he started with Ross instead of Chandler, but
right?
Whatever.
So, Adam, would you help Joey out?
Well, okay. I think there is a difference between an actor and non-actor ask. Truly, you know.
Yeah.
I feel like Joey would know some other actors in New York City he could practice kissing with.
Right.
But yeah, I find it strange that the kiss is never defined either. Yeah. It's like, is he kissing his boyfriend? Is he kissing some person he's never... I've had guys come up and just kiss me at clubs before. But I find it strange that it's never defined. And I would not be using a dead body as a shield.
Joey's good looking. You'd let him kiss you, yeah.
But I would have no qualms about
helping a fellow actor.
Right. I would not shout him down or anything. So now we're at Monica and Rachel's apartment. Rachel, Ross, Phoebe, Monica, and Richard. Ross is reassuring Rachel to come on out and that she looks good. And then turns to the living room whispering, tell her she looks good. Tell her Why, Ross? Why? But Rachel comes out of the bedroom wearing the pinkest I don't think the word dress no longer applies to this abomination. It's cut unflatteringly. It has that material you use for spider webs at Halloween over the bottom and the sleeves. It has extra giant bows atop the fluffy sleeves and a cinquet star on the chest that I can only assume functions as a bulletproof shield or maybe it as a housing for an arc reactor. And Rachel looks so sad. It's so funny. Richard's mouth falls open. Monica covers her face in horror, and Phoebe laughs so fucking hard while saying, "You look so good."
I love how she says that line.
Yeah. I mean, I just have to stop and point out how adorable Lisa Kudrow is when she's genuinely laughing at things.
Yeah.
She's so cute.
That was a genuine
Right.
Lisa Kudrow laugh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Rachel. Who laments about walking down the aisle in front of 200 people while looking like something you drink when you're nauseous. And that's an understatement. Outside of a sitcom, this dress is downright mean.
So I looked up why Pepto-Bismol is pink, because that is what she's referring to when she says
Right.
what you drink when you're nauseous.
Right.
So the original developer of Pepto-Bismol in the early 20th century chose to dye it pink because it's originally, the bicarbonate is beige,
Oh.
to appeal to children to reduce their fears. But Pepto-Bismol is not recommended for children under 12. So they
Right.
dyed it pink, but you're not supposed to give it to kids.
Right. Well, that was probably back in the day when they just like, here's some cocaine in a bottle. Take it. It looks like skin. Here, it's pink. Poor Ross mounts a feeble attempt to talk Rachel out of this atrocious idea. But the writers plan this as the season finale, and damn it, they're sticking to it, no matter how dumb it sounds. Like, really, I honestly think it was part of their, when they were planning out the first season, it was at the end of the second season.
Right.
You know, it was probably part of their initial plans, and it just never got changed. It always just said, that's my idea of this plot, is like, oh, Rachel will overcome the Barry Mindy thing at last at the end of season 2. But it doesn't matter to us anymore.
Nope.
But she promised Mindy she would do it. Monica says,
Well, you promised Barry you'd marry him. Sounds like something I totally would say.
yeah, a solid zinger for which she gets the evil eye, and Monica crawls under Richard's legs for protection. And Rachel makes some half-assed attempts to make this sound reasonable as Chandler comes in dressed like my grandfather and cackles at Rachel's appearance. Again, it's like they didn't tell him what the dress was going to look like, and he just walked in. Phoebe points out that he's wearing the same clothes as yesterday, despite coming from his apartment, and asks if someone got a little action.
Woohoo, stud.
Oh, that was what Monica chimed in. And then Ross asks, what does she look like? And Chandler admits they have not met. They stayed up all night talking on the intranet.
Woohoo, geek.
There's Monica again. But Chandler says he really likes her. And he asks him, you know how I get quippy sometimes? And they mock surprise. Joe, what's your favorite line?
This is brand new information.
But this girl, whose name he does not know, called him out on his behavior. And she said, cut it out, get real. And he did. And Rachel goes, wow, what's that like? You know, in her Princess Peach outfit. It's like this. Me, no jokes. Boring, average, white, 90s man.
Oh, no.
And Phoebe tells him to stop. It's freaking her out. And even Richard is like, ew, yeah, I don't like you this way.
This was a contender for my favorite line. I love it.
Yeah. They're right. This is not why we tune in, Chandler. We do not want this kind of behavior from you. And with that, Richard has to head out. He and Manana exchange kisses and I love yous. Then Monica watches them go, all Twitter-pated. And Phoebe sees it, mocking her with, oh, I think my boyfriend is ever so dreamy. And then she brings up weddings and marriage, and Monica's like, it's like cool to live in the moment, not worry about where it's headed and all that stuff they do on the show all the time. And Rachel floats the idea that Monica's afraid to ask him, and Monica's, yeah, I could not be more terrified. It's been 9 episodes, Mom. They started dating in February, and now it's May. I know they can't listen to me from the past, but pump the brakes a little bit. I mean, Do you really have to have the wedding talk now?
Yeah, but she's in her almost like late 20s. Early 20s.
Yeah. You make all the excuses you want. But I'm just saying, if she's afraid of pushing it, why push it? It's been 4 months. Chandler thinks Monica should consider the marriage thing so they can make Rachel dress up like Princess Bubblegum again.
All right, we're Monica and Rachel's apartment. Monica, Richard, and baby Ben. Monica is playing peekaboo with Ben. Where's Benny? There he is. And Richard says that's probably why babies learn to talk, so they can tell grown-ups to cut it out.
Ouch. Monica, stop it.
Mon says she has a question for Richard. Just a little thing, no pressure. Richard says, okay.
All right.
Do you ever think about the future? He says, sure I do. She says...
And then I nod off and fall asleep.
Because I'm 50. She says, am I in it? And he says, honey, you are it. And all the girls swoon. And Mon says, oh my God, you're about to get so lucky. And Richard nods his head like, yeah, I know. So Mon tells him to keep talking. And Richard says he thinks about selling his practice. And they could move to France. Sold!
Right.
Sorry, he's talking about Monica 30 years ago. Anyhow, he says something about making French toast. Monica says, okay, we're living in France. We're making the toast. Do you see a little bassinet in the corner?
Like a hound?
Not a basset. Come on, I thought you were a doctor. A bassinet. Richard asks if she really needs the bassinet. Monica jokes that she thinks the baby would just keep falling off the dog. She asks if he doesn't see kids in the future. And he says, well, hey, I love children. I have children. I just don't want to be 70 when our kids go off to college and our lives can finally start.
But we all know she has baby fever. She's obsessed with babies and marriage and everything that's related to babies and marriage.
And he says he wants her now. And she says, that's great. And they do not have to talk about this now. This is light years in the future. We're talking hovercrafts and apes taking over the planet future. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Not good.
So then we're at Chandler and Joey's. Chandler, Joey, and Phoebe.
Mm-hmm.
And Chandler's typing on his laptop. And Joey is begging Chandler for a kiss because he wants the part so bad. And Chandler's like, Joey, no means no. Then holy flirking schnit, Rachel comes into the room and the dress has a hat. I forgot about the hat. How did I forget about the hat? I must have blocked it out in my memory because it's all I can think about. Mindy should have just shot her.
I mean, I guess the only consolation is that all the girls are wearing the same dress. It's not just Rachel.
Right. But Chandler, non-quippy and keeping it 100, says, I'm sorry, we don't have your sheep. And Phoebe, who had on a totally cute outfit in the last scene, now looks like she's going to skate up and take your root beer float order. Joey tells Rachel she looks cute and gives her a kiss on the cheek. And then looks at Ross in his tux and comments, he could eat him with a spoon. And he starts in for a kiss, but Ross yells at him to get away from it. He said no. Maybe a little nap together later. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I know, isn't that funny?
And they got more comfortable with it later.
Right.
But Monica comes in to tell them Richard is downstairs, and Joey runs down to kiss Richard goodbye. Then Monica, Rachel, and Ross all leave too, and Phoebe asks Chandler how his cyber date is going. Then asks what all that is, motioning to his cute old laptop.
Cute old laptop.
And he explains it's a website. Because nobody knows what websites were.
And I can't imagine what it looked like.
Right. And it's the Guggenheim Museum. Cybergirl likes art, and he likes silly words. And for anyone that doesn't know, the Guggenheim is that swirly building that Will Smith runs up in the beginning of Men in Black. Phoebe asks what Cybergirl means by HH, and he's like, it means we're holding hands. And then Phoebe asks if he's the cutest, and he's afraid he just might be. And then Phoebe is amazed about how into this person Chandler is. I mean, she could be 90 years old and on a website in the 90s.
Yeah.
No. Or it could have two heads, or it could be a guy, a big giant guy. Then Joey comes back in, saying he got close to Richard and then Monica kneed him in the back. Was she afraid of a Tribbiani Burke Parisian fling that would be happily basset hound free.
Bassinet!
Ooh. Anywho, Joey asks what they are doing, and Phoebe explains they don't know if Cybergirl is a Cybergirl. And Joey proposed asking how long she's going to live, since women live longer than men.
Oh my God.
Chandler, fully perplexed, asks Joey, how do you not fall down more? I like that more in there, that qualifier. He knows he falls down a lot.
Because I have to break in for a second. The boy kid moved out this weekend, so it's just a long story. But anyway, their bathroom was next to our bedroom, and we would be in bed. And if he was taking a shower, he must have fell at least 2 or 3 times.
We don't know what he was doing. This is from when he was a child. Since he's been able to shower by himself, it sounds like he's wrestling somebody in there. It's like clunk, 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 clunk. It's like
we don't know if he's slipping. We don't know if he's falling. We don't know if he's dropping the soap or what. But it's like something's fallen in the bathtub.
I mean, it's weird. But Phoebe suggests asking for her current method of birth control. I'd ask about the intensity of her menstrual cramps and how heavy her flows are. But Chandler goes with the birth control. The answer he gets back is, my husband is sleeping with his secretary. Chandler is shocked to find her married. Phoebe is certain it's a woman now. But that's a classic avoidance technique. So if I didn't know better, I'd still go with it being a guy. But I do know better because I've seen into their futures. So I know it's not a guy, but Chandler's still saddened by the news. And Joey says it must be tough on him. Starts rubbing his shoulders in hopes of a kiss. And Chandler looks sad and annoyed.
So we cut to this random church/wedding venue, I can't tell. We have Monica, Richard, Ross, and Rachel, and then many wedding guests.
Yeah.
Monica is telling a story to fill the uncomfortable silence that she and Richard would be having from the last conversation. It's about how you should not throw rice at weddings because pigeons will eat it and it kills them. And Richard rebounds with, that's why you never see them at sushi bars, with a weak laugh.
Right, because especially when you're sad, your jokes get worse.
Yeah, it gets really uncomfortable. So while throwing rice at weddings is a time-honored tradition that symbolizes fertility, prosperity, and good fortune, some venues may ban it for a number of reasons. 1, rice can be difficult to clean up after and can expand when wet. It can be slippery and may be hazardous for people wearing dress shoes with smooth soles. It can also attract rodents. Some people also avoid throwing rice due to an urban myth that it can harm birds.
Uh-oh.
The myth claims that uncooked rice can expand in birds' stomachs, causing tearing and even death. However, ornithologists say there is little evidence to support this, and birds in the wild eat rice in nature because it's easily digestible. In fact, subsequent testing on birds has shown that eating raw rice does not kill them.
Lies.
So really, it's a nuisance to humans and not birds. So someone made it up, and it's been a myth for over 30 years, and people won't stop believing it, but it has been disproven, and it's fine for birds to eat.
The more you know.
So anyhow, Monica says she is not thinking about the thing that they are not supposed to be thinking about, and Richard says neither is he. Rachel comes out in her bubble yum dress, and Ross asks if she's okay. And she says, yeah, but when she was in the bathroom, she saw the window that she crawled out at her wedding, and she started thinking about she shouldn't be here. That people are going to be looking at her and judging at her and thinking about the last time.
It's the same fucking venue? Come on, how lazy is this guy?
There's only one church. Ross reassures her that this is not her wedding and that's not all about her until it is, but people will tend to focus on the bride. Then Mindy Sterling, who plays Frau Farbissina in the Austin Powers movies, gathers the bridesmaids together to walk them down the aisle and hand out the bouquets. Rachel and Ross kiss, and Rachel takes a deep breath before she shows her red undies to the rest of the church. I'm sorry, but Frau Farbissina would never have let her go down the aisle like that. She was strict and loud and would have stopped that processional. I I'm sure that lady would have grabbed that dress and yanked it out of her panties.
So post-wedding, Ross and Rachel and all the other wedding people, blah, 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 blah. Rachel is yelling at Ross for not telling her. And I would have totally had your back, Joe.
Yeah.
Your backside. I would have just ran out there and pulled it down right away.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have talked you into yelling suckers once you hit the front and we'd run out of the wedding together. But Rachel is on a downward spiral from the embarrassment. She says the only thing worse was when she was in the 8th grade and was supposed to sing Copacabana, at the middle school lounge night. She got 2 lines in and ran off the stage. Ross tries to cheer her up, but she's like, relax, we're dating already. Jeez, John.
I like that line.
Yeah, I like that because, sometimes I'm trying to ease you down and you're like, yeah, I'm not going to fucking calm down, okay?
It's not that you already got me. It's just like, I need to be anxious right now.
Then the older couple comes up to them. Chandler's boss remarried and now it's Mrs. Weinberg instead of Mrs. Tedlock. And Mr. Weinberg, Jackie Bright, only has a handful of acting credits because he is the producer of Friends, Kevin Bright's father.
Aw, super cute.
You did not know that.
I did not.
I was going to say that at the beginning. I was like, no, I'm going to wait.
Super cute.
So he's only ever been in stuff that Kevin produces.
Oh, super cute.
So Mr. W says he's happy to see her again, and he hardly expected to see so much of her. And Mrs. W claims that he told her he didn't see anything. And Mr. W retorts with my favorite, I tell you a lot of things. Ross and Rachel smiled uncomfortably as the pair tell her that they're glad to see her up and about and say, stay well. And she's like, okay, people keep treating me like that, like I'm sick in the head, and not just because of the tucked-in dress to my knickers. And then Mindy comes out, and the bridesmaids' dresses don't seem like a prank anymore because what this woman chose to get married in is bonkers. With these outfits, it's starting to resemble a surreal nightmare world. Like if they were stop motion, it would be the box trolls, right? Rachel is proud of her instead of offering her condolences. And then comes Barry, dressed like the guy that drove our horse and buggy through Central Park. He jokes that Rachel is still there. At their wedding, they were packing up the chopped liver by now. He calls himself chopped liver.
Who serves chopped liver at a wedding?
Yeah. I'd be like, first, chopped liver, gross. Second, that's a ding on you, bro.
Right.
Why do you keep saying these things?
First of all, your first bride, hottie. Second bride, a mess.
So Rachel asks them about the people asking about her being up and about. Turns out the in-laws she avoided told everyone Rachel went insane from syphilis.
Oh my God. Why is she there again?
I don't know.
Oh.
Barry gives a very glib, what are they going to say? You didn't love me anymore? Come on.
Oh my God.
And he delivers the line funny.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the guy, forget the guy's name. He's playing Barry very funny.
Oh yeah. He's a good actor.
He's annoying.
Yeah.
But these are the kind of people you leave in the past. You don't go back and go, oh, I can hang out with these people. You just go, fuck you. I don't need to see you ever again.
We're back at Chandler and Joey's. Chandler, Joey, and Phoebe. Joey is on the phone. He's talking to Angela. I'm assuming it's the Angela that he's dated before, and asks her what she's doing tonight. And he says, I know you're seeing that guy. And he says, I thought you could bring him. And then there's a dial tone.
No.
Hello? Hello?
Joey, are you sure you just want to kiss?
There's an Indian statue on the table. Joey picks it up and takes it into his bedroom.
Okay, now it's homophobic and racist.
Chandler's sitting at the counter and the computer is binging.
Yes.
I was going to say chiming, but I didn't want to miss that opportunity.
Right.
Yeah. So Phoebe asks him if he's going to answer her. That's the 10th bing bong message she sent. See, Phoebe gets it.
Yeah.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Phoebe says she wants to know what's wrong. Chandler shouts, what's wrong? What's wrong? You're married. That's what's wrong. Bing bong. Phoebe says, oh my.
What?
She wants to meet you in person. Chandler says he wanted to meet her in person too, but she's married. She has a husband. Phoebe tries to rationalize that maybe the husband is the wrong guy and Chandler is the right guy. And chances like this are rare. And he'll be kicking himself when he's like 80, which is hard to do, and that's how you break a hip. So I was actually in nursing. I was going to be a nurse, but I'm not a nurse.
That is brand new information.
The reason why is a story for another time. But I did know that most of the time when you're older, they say that you fall and break a hip, but in actuality, your hip usually breaks and then you fall because your bones are so brittle.
Right.
Yeah.
Ow!
I just thought that was an interesting tidbit.
Yeah. You break the hip just walking around.
Right. You're just standing there, your hip breaks, then you fall over. So Chandler's torn. The computer continues to chime, and Phoebe says, "Listen, those are the bing bongs of a woman in love with you." Chandler says, "Okay, I'll do it." Phoebe gets excited. She says, "Okay, great. Go put on your shoes. Then march out there and meet her." Chandler runs to his room. Phoebe shouts, "No, wait! You have to take a shower because ew!" Then the computer bings again and she shouts, "No, wait! You have to answer her. Answer her first." Chandler runs from the bathroom to the laptop. Then she shouts, "No! Make some coffee because it's just too much!" And I love Chandler's slow walk to the kitchen. Because at this point, I know exactly what Adam would say.
"Excuse me, Mr. Pink, but the last fucking thing you need is another cup of coffee."
Reservoir Dogs.
You brought it up, so I won't get kicked out this week.
You can quote other movies. You just can't do everything from that movie.
All right, so back to the wedding reception. Monica, Richard, Ross, and Rachel and guests. So Monica and Richard are avoiding words, playing tossing mints into each other's mouths, the game.
And we totally would have done this at a wedding for people we did not give an F about.
That's right. Well, we would have left at this point.
We showed our faces. See ya.
Right. Monica hits some old lady in the back of the head, tossing the mint. And Richard says, "Again, I'm sorry. Just move, Grumpy Gran." So Monica is in the bargaining phase now, saying maybe she doesn't need kids. Maybe society, and by that she means her mother, just convinced her that she does. Then she looks at two little girls dancing and smiling and I am not the right person for this part.
Hey.
But I'll continue. Monica has to have kids. FYI, the global population is 8.2 billion right now.
Adam.
All right. Then Barry's bestest mensch bangs on the glassware to make a toast. And then he starts with, "I remember when Barry got home from his first date with Rachel." And then everybody's like, "He said the name Rachel at a wedding in the wrong place." This is going to come back again. But he's like, "You hired the same band. I can't use the same speech?" Rim shot. He goes, Thank you very much. Same venue, same band. Barry is just gross.
Yeah. He's cheap, too.
I was going to pick on this guy that does the little speech.
Okay.
His real name is Peter Spears.
Uh-huh.
But he turns out to be, he's a producer on the Timothy Chalamet movie, Bones and All, which I absolutely love, so he's cool to me now.
Oh, so you're not going to pick on him?
No.
Oh, okay.
So he congrats them, and he compliments Rachel. A lot of women would have the guts to come back here, even fewer with their asses hanging out. Rim shot. And then Ross does the clink clink thing on the glass. And he stands because he wants to add something to that.
What do you add?
He introduces himself as Rachel's new boyfriend. States that it did take a lot of courage for her to show up, and she did not run out on Barry because she had syphilis. Then he chides the drummer. "What the hell you doing, man? I was serious." And the drummer looks sad, but Richard laughs. And then he explains that Rachel left Barry because she did not love him. And it worked out pretty well for him. And now he wants a rim shot from the drummer. But the drummer's like, "You just fucking yelled at me, man." So Ross gives a cheers, and Rachel tells him she'll see him in the car park.
Use your American voice.
You mean the parking lot?
Yeah.
Rachel bolts, and Barry stands up, saying once again, "She's out of here. Who had 9:45? Some people laugh. I'd booed. You can boo at a groom on his wedding night, right? That's not a rule.
You can boo at this groom.
Rachel stops and thinks for a second, and then she heads for the mic. "And I want this to be good." And she says she isn't going to go. She probably should, but she promised herself she'd make it through at least one of his weddings. The drummer's back! She wants to make it through the night with a grace and dignity, but she guesses they can all agree that's not going to happen. And she gets a good laugh out of that. Lacking anything else to really say, she starts singing Barry Manilow's favorite, Copacabana, thereby fixing two of her previous failures in one go. even if Ross has to help her with the lyrics a little bit. I could not have helped her.
No.
Everyone else is singing along, and Barry and Mindy are as well, so it ends well. Then we fade to later. A slow song is playing, and Monica and Richard are dancing, and Richard is like, okay, I'll do it. I'll make more kids if that's what you need me to do with you. And Monica is like, oh my God. And then he's like, if I have to, I'll do it again. 4 o'clock feedings, PTA meetings, coach the soccer team. Yeah, sure, if I have to. His point is he doesn't want to lose her. So if I have to, I mean, if I really super duper no way out, have to, no other possible way, then sure, why not? Have to. And she tells him he's the most wonderful man, and if he didn't retch every single time he said, I have to, she'd be saying, let's do it. Yes, Monica wants to breed, but she wants to breed with another eager breeder. She does not want to breed with a have-to breeder. It's all more sad and touching than I'm painting it to be, but you get what you pay for. So they love each other, but they want different things. It's very poignant. But Monica asks what they do now, and Richard suggests that they just keep dancing. So they do. And the camera pans up, and the shot holds 2 other women stuck wearing those hideous bridesmaids' dresses.
Oh, poor Adam. All right, we're back at Central Perk. Rachel, Chandler, Joey, Phoebe, and Ross. Mm-hmm. We open on Chandler. He's pacing back and forth wearing a fucking vest, but it's not a sweater vest.
It's a Woody's Roundup vest is what it is.
He goes, where is she? Where is she? Oh, hey, I have a question. Where is she? Rachel says, relax, Chandler. She'll be here. Then in walks a pretty blonde, and Chandler says, oh, that's her.
You could just go talk to her.
And Ross says, yeah, because life's just that kind. Phoebe says he has to stop staring at the door. It's like a watched pot. If you keep looking at it, the door's never going to boil. She continues to talk. I think what you have to do is try not to. But Chandler has stopped listening because his mystery woman has walked in, and they all turn and look. And Chandler says, oh my God. And Janice reciprocates with, oh my God. And they kiss passionately.
And then the whole group says, oh my God. All right, so the last stinger of the season. Chandler and Joey and Ross walks in. Ross walks in, says he's felt incredibly guilty because he wants to be a good friend. Damn it, he is a good friend. So just shut up and close your eyes. And Joey starts to hold up a finger, but Ross is already kissing him. 2 seconds, no tongue. Very Lucy and Ricky kind of kiss. Joey says, wow. And he says Ross is a good friend. Of course, the audition was this morning, and I didn't get the part, but that was one hell of a kiss. Rachel's a very lucky girl. And then the last shot of season 2 is Ross realizing he kissed Joey only out of pure lust. No other reason. And that's the end of season 2. Cut and print.
Season 2. Woohoo. All right, we're going to take another short break. We'll be right back.
Okay, I'll do it.
You'll do what?
If kids is what it takes to be with you, then kids it is.
Oh my God.
If I have to, I'll do it again. I'll do the 4 o'clock feeding thing. I'll do the PTA meetings. I'll coach the soccer team. I'll get sick every other week from what these disgusting little sticky hands bring home from school with them. If I have to, I'll clean up the crap in their pants because they're too hyper at their own birthday party. I'll pick them up for self-inflicted nosebleeds to get out of tests. I'll buy that stupid holiday wrapping paper that has 1,000% markup on it. I'll go on vacations to places that are too hot and stand in lines that are too long to have no enjoyment if I have to.
I changed my mind. Let's go to Paris.
Let's go.
All right, we're back for the wrap-up.
So, what did we learn from this episode, Joe?
I thought Rachel was brave.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Monica knew what she wanted, and she stuck to her guns. I thought Joey was pretty hip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I learned.
I learned that people want different things. Kids, kissing partners, Janice. Who am I to judge?
It's true. What are your final thoughts?
If they were going to have them kiss. Tender and loving. Like the Phoebe kiss he had with her. They should have had that kiss between Ross and Joey. As far as the end of the season goes, they could have worked Barry and Mindy in again earlier. You know, have a bridesmaid shower or something. like, I know this episode's coming up.
Right.
Because we've seen it so many times.
Right.
But it seems like so long ago that she agreed to do it.
Right.
And then there's been no interaction with them.
Right.
And then it's like the wedding. It seems like a strange epilogue that nobody really wanted. Like, Rachel was already so far removed from it. It was just, they should have just scrapped it and put a different ending episode on there. Like, I think it was something that they should have revised out that they never did.
Yeah.
Or they should have had it as episode 17.
Yeah. Yeah.
And ended with a stronger episode.
Yeah. It was not as much of a season finale as other season finales, you know? Like, when we watch Criminal Minds and we're watching them without, like, looking at what episode we're on, we're like, oh, this is a season finale.
Oh, no. 12 trucks blew up. We don't know who's alive. This is a season finale.
Right, exactly.
But
and
this is...
season finale, Janice is back and Richard is gone. That's the season finale.
And again, like, I think we miss a little bit from the advertising. You know, like, I always remember, like, nowadays, I don't watch any commercials at all. I haven't seen a commercial in 10 years. But back in the day, you would see, you know, they'd be like, ooh, at the season finale, are Ross and Rachel going to break up? Are Richard and Monica going to break up? Who's Chandler going to end up? You know, they do these, they pose these questions in the commercial, and you're like, oh, no.
Right. So I guess it is, like I said,
they would create...
Janice is back and Richard is gone. And so that is kind of a season finale, but to us, it's not as much of a shocker.
Right.
Yeah.
30 years later, you're kind of like, eh.
All right. Sweater vest tracker.
Okay. The prior count was 6. The episode total.
Goose egg.
Overall count 6.
Yep.
But the first season total was 21 sweater vests.
21.
So the full total for the end of season 2 is 27 sweater vests.
27.
That's still not too shabby for the Chen Chen man.
That's right. That's crazy. 48 episodes, 27 sweater vests.
Right.
That's a lot of sweater vests. All right. What's the rating for this episode?
Okay, the rating is 8.1 out of 10 stars with 5,500 ratings.
All right. So, the review for this episode, I went through a lot of them, and there's not very many good reviews. So, again, I put a plug on Facebook and Instagram. All you Friends fanatics and you listeners out there, write in and send us your reviews for the episodes, and we will read them on the podcast.
Exactamundo.
So I had to pick a lame one this week. Sorry, Japone.
Oh, no.
So this one is 8 out of 10 because that was the average rating. But it's J. Papone, July 30th, 2021. Perfect Friends episode is the title.
Okay.
If only all episodes were like this instead of what it descended into.
Oh, my God.
I know. Everybody was funny or good. I love Tom Selleck's Richard. This is an 8 for me. Not a 9 or a 10, but an awesome double. I don't know what that means.
It's a juicy double. Begging for a piece of that bubble.
It wasn't like I was watching a TV show. It was like I was hanging out with my friends.
Wow.
I lost track of time. It wasn't amazing or jaw-dropping. I wasn't rolling on the floor laughing. I was just thoroughly entertained.
Somebody was...
Hi. It was pretty funny, though. It was pretty funny.
Wow.
All right. So next week,
bonus season 2 recap.
Yes. We'll be recapping all of our characters.
Yep.
Everything they went through. Favorite outfits, favorite lines, favorite moments. Fun.
Breaking it all down.
That's right. Are you ready for some maladjusted content?
I am ready for some maladjusted content.
This week was rough.
Yeah, this was a rough week.
For the maladjusted Misfits.
Somebody had to go away for work for 4 days.
Yeah.
There was tornadoes. There's family visits. It was
hot as motherfucker.
Everybody got sick. We were in 2 different places in the country.
Yeah.
And we both got sick.
And just came home from the doctor like a half hour before we recorded this episode. So I downed some meds and I rallied hard.
Right.
But I did it.
She's going to collapse in about 5 minutes.
But, yeah, so it's been a rough week, so.
And we didn't get to watch,
No.
We watched some Umbrella Academies
Yep.
and some Criminal Minds.
I watched Gone Girl, which is one of my, like, I can watch it while I'm in a trance because it's very subdued and I just love the character acting in it.
Right.
So I watched Gone Girl. That's one of my, like, I wouldn't say favorites, but it's like one of my go-to when I can zone out.
Right,
you know?
right.
So I watched that.
It's nice to have some movies that are quieter.
Yeah, it's
like,
very quiet. I love the soundtrack.
Yeah.
Love it. So I didn't even have it on the volume very high.
Yeah.
Because it's very quiet and peaceful, but it's very tense and I like it.
And it's got its moments.
Yeah.
I mean, David Fincher's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the best.
Yeah.
One of the best out there. But and then I watched Rebel Moon. I usually don't like the badmouth things because I like a lot of the actors in the movie. But it's not very good. Yeah, I mean, it's basically a Seven Samurai ripoff, which is the Magnificent Seven is already a Seven Samurai ripoff, which is basically any A-Team episode. If you ever seen one of those, it's like, oh, our poor town's getting overrun by bikers and they got to come help us. Only it's the Galactic Empire, but instead of Darth Vader, it's Xerxes from 300. It's like everything is from a different movie, and it's just not. Yeah. I didn't enjoy it. Somebody else might enjoy it fine. You know, it's not for me.
So we're hoping this week is better.
Yeah.
And things are back to normal, and we're feeling better.
But we got through the first season of Umbrella Academy. Yep. We're getting near the end of season 2.
Yeah, I think we're coming up on the end of season 2.
And those are fun. Those are fun. I like the.
I do too.
The wacky characters and the goofy sets and stuff that they have in that. It's all very fun.
It is fun. The one lady in it has like 9 lives, I swear. Yeah. Like they've tried to kill her like multiple times.
Right.
She just keeps coming back. All right. Well, thanks for joining us this week. We love to have you. And if you would like your thoughts or reactions regarding future episodes to be shared with the rest of the class, we just want to reach out and say hey.
Come on. We'd like to hear hey from you guys. And just give us a little email real quick. Let us know how we're doing. If you hate it or you want us to do something different. Yeah. Maybe we'll shake things up for season 3.
Ooh. Email us at themaladjustedmisfits@gmail.com. Rate us and leave positive comments.
And if you have a negative comment, just try and phrase it more positive, in a more positive way.
Check us out on Facebook and Instagram. You can follow the links in the show notes. The pages are called The One Where We Talk About Friends.
Joe, you ready for a cup of coffee?
Always. Well, I think you should seriously consider the marriage thing. Give Rachel another chance to dress up like Princess Bubblegum.